Hi, this is Bad Bird Games. I'm Bird, and welcome to my channel. Today we will be restarting my Animal Crossing island. I honestly have no idea how many hours I am at in this game, as about a year and a half ago my Switch stopped counting my playtime at 865, but let's just assume it is a lot at this point. Shout out to Timmy and Tommy for maintaining the same level of enthusiasm for my joining the island getaway package for a truly ungodly number of times. I don't have a lot of exact plans, but I'll be going over my requirements for the new island in just a moment. I've done everything from forest core to city core to seasonal islands. My playstyle tends to be very design heavy, though I definitely love to lean into island drama. Unsurprisingly, I am choosing the name Bird, and my birthday is November 27th. So while I get my passport ready to go, let's go over what my goals are for today's video. First, obviously we need to choose an island and an island name. I'm without ideas so far, so we'll figure it out as we go. I know I want an orange airport, a smaller peninsula, a close resident services, south-facing rivers, and reasonably tolerable villagers. Second, I want to get my best friend and fellow autistic Bird on the island as soon as possible. And third, I want to get my tent upgraded to a house before the end of the first day. All of this feels completely manageable and nothing I haven't done before, so let's get started. So I was actually pleasantly surprised that one seemed to fit my criteria in the first batch of islands. The bottom right was a bit close to the airport for my comfort, but I decided I was open to a challenge. I figured we weren't likely to get an orange airport on the first try anyways, so I decided to check it out. I was also happy enough to see apples. I prefer peaches and cherries, but the only one I actively don't want is pears. And to top it all off, we had the orange airport of my dreams. Then I saw my villagers, and I almost restarted immediately. I know I said reasonably tolerable, which is very vague, but basically it just means can I stomach living with them without feeling like my life is in danger. I love being the hottest bitch on the island as much as anybody though, so I decided Canberra could be manageable.
A clown. That's clown shit.
Then there was the matter of the literal clown living on this island. Could I handle it in a post-2016 world? Well, it is definitely one way of making sure I am needed. Certainly nothing would get done without me with this lot. And I can unpack that thought process later with my therapist. This is my island, and we got it on the first try. I'm not sure yet whether we can call it luck, but we've certainly committed. So Tom Nook mansplained the process of setting up the island, like always. I normally set up tents on the beaches, but decided this time to just plop them somewhere I thought looked semi-cute. I borrowed my roommate's Switch, who never plays Animal Crossing, and dumped all my old bells and a bunch of stuff on his island, so moving the houses later isn't going to be a huge issue because I could just go pick up more money. I honestly rushed through this part. I think part of me was still thinking of restarting, but Boots and Canberra honestly started to grow on me. And honestly, once I got to the bonfire party, I knew I was sold. I decided to stick with the avian theme, googled bird species, and went with the name Peregrine. It felt like a nice island name that could work with a lot of different aesthetics and themes, plus it is a better take than Rackland or Buffberg, so we went with it. It was quickly clear that my ill-advised hope of being the most needed person on the island would be fulfilled. Tom Nook named me the island rep, as I had the charisma Canberra lacked, and was not, in fact, a clown. I'm not sure if being chosen is a compliment if the second choice is a Pennywise cosplay, but we'll take it anyways. As always, I did get a little caught up in my feelings. I loved the excitement of starting a new island, and it all turned to immediate regret when I said howdy. You have the full rights to make fun of me. But we toasted Peregrine, and I was feeling optimistic. We had a great name, we found a perfect island on the first try, and I was feeling inspired. Sure, we were on an island with a literal clown, but I can handle a little spice for drama. And besides, were we likely to fall much further? No, of course not. After that, we went to bed and we got to see KK Slider, another part of this game that always hits me. I've been playing Animal Crossing in some fashion since around 2004. And seeing KK Slider talk about going your own way in the world and the importance of going through it with friends is particularly meaningful now that I'm playing as a semi-independent adult. It takes me back to where I was 2 years ago, at the start of the pandemic, week when this game came out, and it makes me proud of how far I've come as a person, not just as an Animal Crossing player. Anyways, it also made me realize that my date was off by like a month, and my Switch thought it was the middle of the night, so I was going to have to time travel forward a month and deal with Canberra and Boots judging me like they have the right. But I elected to wait on that until I could finish my goals for the first day. So I started my sprint through more of Tom Nook's mansplaining so that I could get started. May I remind you, I have known this capitalist raccoon since I was 8. I am 25, and on like my 8th island? And he still pretends not to know me and makes me sit through this shit. But sit through it I did, and now my new life is underway. This is another point where I could talk about what it is like to be living in a time of transition and how meaningful this still is to me. But we have Nook Miles to get, so after the game definitely not syncing up to real time, I checked my mail and got my gifts from Nintendo. I decided to drop them off in my tent and figure out my game plan. I figured my best route to get 2 birds with 1 stone was to focus on fishing and bug catching, while getting a few of the basic achievements, like personalizing my passport along the way. I did pause for a moment to feel things at the photo from Happy Home Paradise, which I completed on my last playthrough. I definitely do plan on making a series of videos completing the DLC. I think in-game I will be waiting until after the KK Slider concert, but I will be posting them as a separate series from the main Peregrine one, so you may get to see them sooner. Canberra immediately set about making up for mediocre first impressions and did so by giving me the DIY for a leaf umbrella and reminding me of still more Nook-splaining I was going to have to sit through. Instead of making you wait through that with me though, I thought I would tell you about my plans for this series while I try to speed through all this. This is going to be a bit of a combination of playthroughs and slice of lives with speed builds and hopefully a bit of island inspiration. My playstyle tends to be both very design and drama heavy, so I think hopefully you'll enjoy this whether you prefer aesthetic islands or convoluted plots. I've leaned into theatrics with this game ever since my childhood love triangle with Tybalt and Apollo sending them encoded love letters so my brother, who shared a town with me, wouldn't be able to read them. It ended in heartbreak for all, which was exactly how my artistic little heart preferred it. But the history of my romantic entanglements in this game could be a video of its own, so I think I will save that for another time. The next hour or so of gameplay was a rushed scrabbling for bells from Timmy, sitting through more tutorials, and rushing about trying to collect as many Nook Miles as I could as fast as possible. But fortunately, the crafting tutorial got me the fishing pole I really needed to finally make headway on bringing my boy Blathers home. I had a humble beginning to my miles, but was feeling optimistic. So naturally, I proceeded to get brutally humbled by a bunch of fish for an embarrassing amount of time. For some reason, the simple drop and click of Animal Crossing fishing has always been beyond me. But I did eventually get enough fish to satisfy both my pride and convince my best bird friend to finally come to Peregrine. At this point, I was still 3,000 miles shy, so it was time to buckle down and get this done so I could time travel back into the light of day. My strategy for whenever I'm trying to get that first island is passport, shells, wood, flowers. This strategy rounded us off for our final goal of the day, and I talked to Nook about getting my house upgrade, not at all bitter about the fact that he damn well knew I was good for it, and could have paid him in full as soon as the airport opened. But regardless, my loan was paid off and my house ready to be installed overnight and abandoned for a month of time traveling. If you've watched all the way to the end, I just want to say thanks, and I hope you've enjoyed so far. I'll be uploading the first 2 videos together, and after that I'll be posting Animal Crossing videos every Wednesday and Friday from here on out. I've pre-recorded my first 2 months of content, and I'm very excited for you to see what's coming. I think you'll find next week especially will have a twist on it. My first few videos will be primarily Let's Play style, but I am also excited to get started on the design aspect after the KK concert. I've got some ideas I can't wait to share. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.